can't hear anything. Why? Alright, let me... Okay, can I hear you?
Testing? Can you hear me now?
But... Hello?
Testing.
Okay, yay, it works. Alright. Oh my god. Alright, yeah, I knew something like this was gonna happen.
Having audio issues, I see?
Oh, it's my first time doing this podcast scene setup, so had to re-add everything, and I'm like, did I get the right Discord chat or not? But hey, yeah, hello everyone.
Hello everyone.
Yep, Kendrick, trying out the old model. Hopefully my eyes don't bug out.
Are you trying the new tracking they have for Vtuber?
Yep, I'm trying the good old new tracking thingy, pipeline, whatever it's called. The Google thing that makes your face look red. But yeah, welcome to the second episode of the Digisquad podcast. I'm Digikai, or you might know me as VirtualDigigirl.
And I am VirtualDigigirl. I also go by Tatiana Digigo.
And it's completely coincidental that our names are matching. So...
Yo, that was totally by accident, okay?
But anyways, welcome. I think we left off at the other time that we left off was when we were talking about Digimon Season 2, right?
Yeah, so when we left off at the beginning of the redemption arc for Season 2.
So, let's see here. Alright, so I gotta go back and remember exactly what it is. The redemption arc for Season 2. Oh, did I just make the chat disappear?
Yeah, it disappeared.
There you go, I wrapped the wrong thing. There we go. Alright, yeah, the redemption arc, right. The Digimon Emperor, fixing himself, right?
Anyway, yes.
Yeah, fixing himself, and also, oddly enough, the connections between Digimon Adventure 2 and the game for the Dream Swan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was insane. I didn't even know that till the last time we spoke in the podcast.
Yeah, I've done extensive research on that game, but yeah, that pretty much was the bridge between the two seasons. Which is why a lot of people got confused when they watched 02, because they never mentioned, references to the games.
It really, they didn't mention it at all. They acted like it didn't exist. Which is insane, because it reuses the characters, and it was trying to stay, I guess, cohesive, right?
Yeah, so the only thing cohesive about it was the Dark Spore. The game, the Wonderful game, actually explained how Ken got the Dark Spore his first time in the digital world. And the brief flashback with Millenniumon is all from the game, as well as Rio. So technically Rio was from the 02 universe until the end of those games, when he actually ended up in the Tamers universe.
Which I think we discussed that
briefly.
Rio became obsessed with cowboys, and for some reason he was completely different in Tamers than he was in the games.
Yeah. So there's a lot of debate if that Rio and the Rio in the games are the same person or not. But yeah, they pretty much messed up the character. Let's just put it like that. They just made him as comic relief.
I mean, yeah, they made him pretty much comic relief, but he was a pretty cool character too. I think he was the first person that could do that Digivolution, right? The bio merge. But I think we're getting too ahead of ourselves.
So, Digimon Adventures 02. We left off with Ken actually was in the primary village. We already talked about the differences between the sub and the dub in terms of the baby Digimon. At that point, after he breaks down, he does eventually start hearing Leafmon, which is how they end up reuniting. At the end of that, he actually does go home and actually does make up with his parents. Because at that point, they thought he ran away again. So that was the emotional scene right there.
Oh no, another time he ran away. But, yeah, after that, we get, like, I guess the second part of Digimon Adventure 2, which is where the DNA Digivolutions get introduced. And of course, Ken gets to join the good old Davis and the gang.
Yep. Agree, Wormmon, best partner ever.
Yeah, Wormmon is pretty good. He really got a lot of popularity back again with Digimon Cyber Sleuth. I like it. His voice will always freak me out, though. That he has such a different voice, put it that way.
It really depends who voices Wormmon, to be honest. Because, like, I found both the Japanese and English version both be pretty good, at least for the anime. For the games, I felt it maybe was a little too high-pitched. But that's just my opinion.
The games, I could see the argument, but the anime, he was like, hello, and I was like, what's going on?
It's just personal preference, I guess.
Yes, he has a very, I guess, different voice. I don't even know if it's an old man voice, because it's not. It's just different. The dub is a masterpiece, yeah, and I mean it in an ironic way.
Yep. So that was pretty much the whole thing with Wormmon. Like, especially when he has a very, just like any other partner Digimon, they have a very close bond with their human partners. So it's understandable that after Ken got corrupted by the Dark Spore, that he would feel that overprotectiveness of him wanting to always protect him and try to help him when he was slowly being corrupted and falling to the darkness. So after he got home, the emotional scene. Essentially what was happening at that point was that the parents were finally realizing that they were so hyper-focused on that, their son was a genius after their original son had died in a car accident when Ken was little. They just started focusing on, how close Ken's genius was similar to his older brother. And they were just blinded by that for a good while. And then that's why the mystery scene was all about, pretty much, after he came back.
Yeah, and by this point, I think he already got his crest, the crest of kindness, right?
Yeah, so he got his crest of kindness after the others actually defeated him. So, the crest of kindness appeared once the Digimental of Miracles is no longer needed. So that actually appeared right in front of Ken. So he always had the crest. Just that when he turned to evil, it turned to a Digi-egg.
Oh, that's interesting. And of course, that's adding on. Like, I would say that's the crest that's official in my, head. Because I know in Digimon Adventure 3, they try to add something else, right? And try?
Not really crest-related, no.
No, not crest related, but I think with Mako they were trying to do something there. I don't know. I've not finished try because as specified before, I didn't like it at all.
I unfortunately went through all of Lisa, unfortunately.
the crests weren't really a big deal, I guess, in Digimon Adventure 2 until the crest of kindness. They were kind of there always as eggs, right? They got the
Yeah,
Digimentals.
Yeah. So either the Digi Eggs, Armored Digi Eggs, or Digimentals in Japanese. If for the duration of O2, because of the dark towers that Ken had put in place towards the first half of the anime, they pretty much neutralize normal Digivolution as well as the original crest. That would help the partner Digimon evolve. So that's why Taichi, Yamato's, all the other original chosen, their Digimons could not normally evolve. So because of this, the Armored Digi Eggs were created. In terms of O2, though, that's technically not true since they did exist during the Wonder Swarm games. But that's besides the point.
Well,
So-
obviously they had a good ideas with the games that they wanted to translate to the anime, and
Yeah.
it's just nice. Even though I wish they would have picked a better system and the Wonder Swan, but that's another discussion.
Yeah. So that was the purpose of the Armored Digi-Eggs for a good half of the season. So each of the corresponding Digi-Eggs represented one of the 8 crests. The only ones that they don't show is the Digi-Egg of Kindness, and the 4 negative traits of like darkness, I think, wrath or something like that. It was like negative traits. Those were considered the dark Digi-Eggs. So those didn't make appearance in the anime, but they're briefly referenced if you go on the reference sheet and also in the audio track that they have made.
Oh, right, the audio tracks. It's a classic thing in anime. Back in those days, to have audio tracks, and OSTs were kind of like these audio books in a way, right? A lot of different animes had it, not just Digimon. It's something that I just took me back a little bit. I feel like the armor was being Yeah, the Digi armor evolutions theme breakup is a little bit more dancey than Braveheart, but Braveheart still hits that nostalgic.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, yeah, so that was pretty much a good portion why they used the Digi-Eggs for the first half of the anime. Towards the second half, they actually stopped using it because at the beginning when Tama lost her ring during the scuffle, this actually allowed Jagras evolution, or DNA evolution in English.
DNA, yep. Which is, of course, the big gimmick of the second half of the season. So they didn't really, well, they couldn't, but they didn't really need to do armored evolutions.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, you should have watched the entire first season first because O2 takes place 2 years after the first season. So pretty much it is their sequel, especially since it's in the same universe. So a good portion of O2 during the first half was pretty much the kids. Pretty much they had to clean up the dark spirals and the mess that Ken left behind. But during that point, that's when they introduced the new enemies. Arukenimon and Mummymon.
Right, Arukenimon and Mummymon. Creepy disguises the Team Rocket of Digimon Season 2, right?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So, these two Digimon, those who may not know, are actually hybrid Digimon. Were created by Oikawa, who is human. So they are technically half human, half Digimon, technically, because they were made from his DNA.
I forgot all about that side plot, or big plot point, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, I think was it the first fight, or it was one of the fights where I remember that they finally did the Joggeress into Paildramon.
That was later on. So
later on, yeah.
What happened first was that they had to they kind of struggled terms with if they should forgive Kanonoff for pretty much saving Cody, or Cody, from a controlled Spire Digimon that they didn't realize it at the time. Pretty much, they still thought he was evil, killing Digimon, when that wasn't really the case.
Interesting.
It wasn't that was when Dice saw that. That was why he went to the human world to try and befriend him, saying that he saw that Ken changed. He's not the same as before. That is also mainly due because the Dark Spore is no longer active, so he went through a completely 360-degree personality change.
Right, he really did. It was really fast too. But the evolution sequences for the Jogger's evolutions are pretty cool as well. They did use 3D only for the main two characters, like they did in Adventure. I like it. I like it when he shoots like the guns that I still don't know how biology in Digimon works, but he has guns coming out of him, right?
Yep.
Was Blackboard Greenman a big thing in 2, or was it a 1? It's 2, right?
Blackboard Greenman was a big thing, but this was later on in the season.
Later on, okay.
Yeah, so that was when after they reached Save Cody, that was when Daisuke tried to convince him to join the team, but of course Ken wasn't really going to do that because all the others thought he was so bad it didn't change, which I find kind of funny because they accepted Tailmon right away and she was evil.
Well, they were kids back then. They're a little bit older.
They're still technically kids.
I know.
There's only a 2-year difference.
2 years? He went from TK went from little to big in 2 years. I guess puberty really does work like that, actually.
Yep.
Let's see. So they're trying to convince him to join them, and then this is where the original kids get involved, right?
Not really. So the thing about O2 is the original kids didn't really play that major a part in the anime, as they were busy with, with their own exams and school life and stuff like that.
They're busy with teenagers.
Occasionally, yeah. So they will occasionally come make cameos to help out the kids. But they really didn't play that much a big role in it. It was mainly the main TK Kari with Cody and Yuli and Ken and Davis. They're the main focus of the anime.
Got it. But when Ken finally joins them, that's when they evolve into Paildramon, or they can DNA Digivolve.
Yeah, so that was at the point when they actually had to go back to the base because it was about to explode.
Gotcha. And of course they go toe-to-toe with Arukenimon, and right after that episode, actually, that's where we get Blackboard Greymon. It's pretty fast. Didn't remember it being this fast.
Couple episodes later, I believe, or something like that. Because they were pretty much cleaning up all the dark spirals. After a couple failed attempts at stopping them through her dark spiral Digimon, that's when she finally decided, she snapped and decided to create a dark War Greymon, Black War Greymon, with 100 control spirals.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, she combined 100 control spires to create Black War Greymon. Oh my god, I didn't remember that one either. It's been a while since I rewatched 02.
Yeah, and of course, because he's a Mega, he pretty much defeated all of them with one shot.
But he doesn't kill them. No.
No.
He says no.
So what was different about Black War Greymon compared to all the other Digimon she created? He actually somehow developed a heart. He was thinking for himself, and he had feelings, just like a normal Digimon. So he was confused about his purpose and who he really was. So that's why he kept disobeying her.
So he leaves them
Yes,
close to
so
death, but he doesn't kill them.
No, he pretty much ignored Arcanima's command to kill them.
So she gets another Digimon to try to attack him, and that's where we get Sylphimon. The Digimon that eludes me in my Digimon Dawn save that I can't seemingly get.
Okay, so after the whole thing with Black War Greymon, now Arcane and Momo's trying to get them, pretty much why he's not listening to them. That was another plot point thing that she couldn't figure out. So a little bit after that, they introduce the Destiny Stone, which are I believe there were 4 Destiny Stones in the digital world. Pretty much, they are the catalysts of what kept the digital world stable between them and the human world. So, upon getting destroyed, it will cause natural disasters that could affect both worlds. So, every time Black War Greymon destroyed one, you will see the brief image of Azulamon, who was one of the guardians of the digital world, who was trapped because of the Dark Towers.
Right. Azulamon, one of the coolest designs in Digimon, in my opinion.
Cool designs, but they serve no purpose in the anime.
No, you would think they would serve a bigger purpose, because,
Big, powerful Digimon.
They're legendary Digimon. And I know they tried to make them have a purpose in Digimon Adventure Try, but...
They make them enemies, though.
That's true, but they're also, they gave them lore. They gave them, they're the original Digimon that were the original Digimons of the Digidestined, right? But moving on, yeah, basically they don't do anything throughout any of the seasons, really. Except he comes down and talks to them a couple times, right?
Pretty much. They pretty much have Azulamon as the wise Digimon, or older wise father figure type thing that tries to give them guidance and stuff like that. But of course they have to do it on their own. So when Black War Greymon finally almost destroys the last one, that's when he finally meets Azulamon. Now, of course, Azulamon, being the powerful Digimon he is, pretty much takes him down.
Basically,
and then
his legendary status.
And that's pretty much when he has some self-reflection and confusion and actually leaves and end up wandering the digital world until he meets Agumon, and they have their own side conversation.
Deep conversations. In a few more episodes, I think we get Imperial Dramon, which is great. Pale Dramons can actually... That's... DNA Digivolutions can Mega Digivolve, which is still a concept that I don't quite understand. But, great.
So, that's like getting Digimon. So, with the right conditions, they could evolve against. Because technically, Paludramon wasn't really a Mega Digimon. He was an ultimate.
He was an ultimate, right? Yeah, that's what I remember. Because it took 2 champions, so they make into an ultimate.
So with that, the only reason he became a Mega through Azulamon's one of his Digicores is because Arukenimon and Mummymon, with their master, Oikawa, opened up several portals to the human world, which were being overrun now by lost Digimon.
Right, this is where they have to go around the world and sort of, like, defeat them, right?
Pretty much, because these Digimon were lost and confused. So they had to make portals to send them back home. Unless they were the evil Digimon from Daemon's Court.
Yeah. And this is where we learned that all around the world there's Digidestined just chilling. They're doing their own adventures, I guess. So they team up with all the different Digidestined around the world. And is this like... Would this be the point where the movie fits in, or is that earlier?
Which movie?
There's a bunch of them. The Adventure 2 movie, the one with the golden eggs.
Okay, so that one, in terms of the timeline, I would actually put it between before, probably like around before Ken wakes up from his amnesia, like during vacation time.
During the vacation, yeah. Okay.
So around that time. Because he's barely referenced in that movie, so I can only assume it's around that time. But they already had their Digi eggs, so yeah, that's where I will put that in the timeline. So once they get back from around the world, that it only comes to realize is that was actually just a diversion, because Arikawa was having Mummymon and Arukenimon kidnap children. And this is where the Dark Spore comes into play, that I mentioned a couple times already. So Ken has the Dark Spore, which is a remnant of Millenniumon. So by scanning it, they were able to implant more Dark Spores into these children. They were able to do this by convincing Ken that if he didn't go with them, then something bad will happen to those kids. And that's what led to the others trying to save him. And this is also the plot point where they really didn't do that much into it. But this is when they mentioned the Demon Lord Daemon.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that I do remember that Daemon. They fight an actual Demon Lord, a full Demon Lord.
Of course, they are no match because he is a Demon Lord and he is a Mega, and none of them could really evolve into a Mega. Of that powerful stance, anyway.
Good old Creepymon, right?
Yep, that is the other name.
It is also legendary status because he is one of the 7 great demon lords that they never seem to use in any story except for recently.
See, the one thing about the demon lords, they never really mention anything other than that they're plot point bad guys.
They're bad guys, but they don't really do anything except if you play Cyber Sleuth when you go through the Demon Lord DLC. Besides that, I mean, I'm sorry, it's a post game, I think. But besides that, they don't really do anything in Tamers. They don't do anything in no, they did do something in Savers, right?
Yes, Belphemon.
Belphemon, yeah.
But he was pretty much asleep the entire time. And then Beelzebubmon is in Tamers.
Right.
Lucimon, and Frontier.
Vasilmon became everybody's favorite Digimon, basically.
Pretty much.
But going back to Daemon
O2.
and yeah, Creepymon.
So essentially, it wasn't really mentioned why Daemon wanted the Dark Spore. They never really elaborate on that. When he finally caught up with Ken and the others, with help of his friends, they were able to send him to the world of darkness, or the Dark Ocean. Although it is they really didn't explain it, so it is a plot point they never really touched on, but it is unclear if that really sealed him away or not, considering he has the capability of opening a portal.
Interesting.
It's like the whole Dark Ocean, World of Darkness thing. It's another plot point that also has Dragomon, where which is why both Hikari and Ken are afraid of that world, because it's a world that's full of darkness, and it conjures your most negative thoughts and brings it to life. Just as the digital world, it brings your most positive emotions to life.
Basically, Ken cheats Daemon through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sends him away. Bye bye. No more Dark Lords ever.
Again, plot point they never really touched on.
So after that thing happens that had nothing to do with the story, I guess. If I'm just reading it, I don't remember it quite like this. I'm reading it from the episode list, but it says right here we get Black War Greymon versus War Greymon, right?
Yeah, so at this point, this is when Black War Greymon actually goes to the human world. Because now he is hunting down Arugenimon and Mummymon and Arukawa. Who, surprise, surprise, is Vandemon.
It's who?
You're really sure saw that coming. Vandemon, the big baddie, Meliodas-mon.
Oh no. You mean to tell me he was here all alone and... Didn't he say something about revenge as well?
Yes. So, the reason Black War Greymon went there is because he could sense that Arikawa had another spirit inside of him, which was Meliodas-mon and Vandemon. His spirit anyway. So pretty much he was using Arikawa to regain his body.
Which he does, and he's a villain for a whole 2 episodes.
Yes, towards the end, yes. I agree. That was like season 2 is the first episode. Like, no, not the first season. I watched the first 2 seasons, and then 2 is still my favorite. But I don't think that's where I get most of my fanfiction stuff from that universe.
I may talk a bit down on season 2, but it's really one of my favorite Digimon seasons. Like I said, one of my favorite Digimons is Beamon. So yeah, it's the season that I love the most, nostalgic wise.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's where the whole fight between Black War Greymon and War Greymon comes in. He stops Black War Greymon from trying to kill Arikawa, which is probably a big mistake, but like whatever. They could have avoided the whole Vandemon returning 2 episode long thing.
Yeah, but you know the no killing, right? Even though they just killed like 2 Digimon in the previous episode.
Yes. Pretty much they start fighting, which ended up the others getting involved as well. And then when they actually end up, I believe, somewhere near the ocean on an island, somewhere in Japan. is when they actually finally convince him that he actually does have a soul. He can make his own choices, and he can actually use it for good. He doesn't have to use it for bad. And for once, I think that's when he actually listens to them. Because all the other chosen Digimon were expressing, you know, their experiences with their partners.
You're right. Yep. And then Malomayotismon, he tries to, I guess, trick them, right? Or make illusions to trick them, I guess.
That was after they entered the realm of dreams. So we're not there yet.
Okay.
So after that scene, the kids are actually tracking down what, like, I have to keep an eye on the dark spore kids. That's that whole plot point now. Because now they're showing signs of the seeds sprouting, which Vandermon actually absorbs, which helps him create his body. So at this whole plot point thing, that's when Vandermon actually kills Blacko Greymon, because Cody's grandfather ends up trying to convince Oikawa that he wants to be his friend and that he was sorry for the way he treated him when he was younger, because his son, pretty much the grandfather would, because how they're always so invested in the Digimon game, so they pretty much accidentally were in contact with two partner Digimon through their quote-unquote game, and because of that, and the father actually separated them. So Arwika was pretty devastated after Cody's father.
Oh,
and
wow.
now the grandfather's pretty so pretty much the grandfather was trying to make amends for his mistake. Because it pretty much would have been a different story if he had tried keeping the two of them apart and separating him from his best friend. So when the grandfather tried to reach out to him, he almost did. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he was trying to make amends from his mistakes. So when he tried reaching out to him, he almost succeeded, but Vandermon, that was in that point, Vandermon took briefly control and tried to kill the grandfather. And that's when Black Greymon stepped in, and he ended up getting struck in the center of his chest, which pretty much almost completely destroyed his Digicore.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so pretty much his body was pretty much, because he was a Dark Spiral Digimon, he was pretty much, like, coming apart. So, as his last effort to keep, he immediately knew who was in Arakawa because of that interaction. So, through that, he used a lot of his strength to seal the gate to the digital world, to prevent Vandermon from returning into the digital world. Which is why, when Arakawa had enough of the the spiral flowers from all the children, and when he actually opened the gate, he did not end up in the digital world. He ended up in the realm of dreams, which is where Vandermon actually takes form in. And that's also when he starts making the illusions to try to discourage the Chosen from fighting him after he killed Arukenimon and Mummy. So while in that world, they're all stuck in their illusions. Surprisingly, the only one who wasn't affected was Davis.
Right, because he has no brain.
No, he has a brain, but it's more than the fact that he didn't want anything. He had his family, his friends, his partner. There wasn't anything that he wanted. So, like, the illusions, they pretty much brought out your deepest desire. For example, Hikari desperately wanted a world where humans and Digimon got along peacefully. Ken wanted, in a twisted way, wanted to repent for what he did. When in reality, he's been doing that the time, and that's when he finally realizes that he doesn't want to keep punishing himself. And that is only when they actually realize that, that's when they actually break through the illusion. But what this world does, it brings your greatest desires to life. So that is why all the children had multiple versions of their partners. So they had the armored Digivolutions, their full-on evolutions, their DNA evolutions, all of them, all at once.
Oh wow! Right. That's how they managed to defeat Malomyotismon, and then we get the controversial ending, right?
Yeah. So during that battle, they ended up breaking through, through the dream realities into the digital world, where Vtuber tried spreading his darkness because he was taking the negative energies from the children, the ones that have been implanted with those dark spores, or the copies of the dark spores, anyway. That is also when Davis and the others they brought hope back into by having them remember what their dreams were. And as long as they held on to those dreams or strive for them, the dark spores are pretty much useless. Because the dark spore feeds on negative emotions. So, along with that, that is also when all the children from around the world end up in the digital world with their partners to finally put an end to Vendemon.
And
then it goes into the and that's when it goes into Awikawa actually dying by restoring the digital world with his energy, because when Vendemon left him, he pretty much left his body so weak that he wouldn't be able to have been able to survive on his own. So with Awikawa restoring the digital world, that is when we actually go into the epilogue. Well, to most, a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't, a lot of people are kind of in the between in terms of where they got the different characters from and who was partnered with.
I know that was a big deal. Who was partnered with? I know some people were like, "What?"
So it was never explicitly explained. You could really only interpret that the only confirmed was Sora and Yamato because of their children. All the others are pretty much unsure. Oh, and then Ken and Yoli. Other than that, everyone else is either they're either single parents or their spouses are not in the digital world, or they're probably partnered with one of the other chosen. So it really was left up to interpretation.
And we don't know if that ending's actually gonna be even canon anymore with the new movie coming out, the Digimon Adventure 2 movie.
as of the last evolution, it is canon still, because they were including brief references here and there, especially with Try in Last Evolution. They include references that tie back to the original epilogue.
Still, Last Evolution is still one of the movies I have to see completely.
Same. Like, I've seen like bits here and there.
The infamous Agumon finds the magazine scene, right? Um, I'm excited
And
actually for the season 2 movie coming out.
oh, so am I. I can't wait.
They finally get
So,
their movie. Anyways, I'm sorry.
yeah, after the horrible try. So, movies in O2. So, the corresponding movies that actually take after this one is Revenge of Doromon, or Diabloman, whatever you want to call him.
It's actually like it. I like that movie. It was chaotic from start to the end. With what is it? Easy trying to rush towards them and then getting annoyed by Mimi the whole time. It was fun.
Yeah. So pretty much in that movie, Diorboromon does make a reappearance. So to backtrack, his his virus soul was originally in Latmon or Kokomon. After his defeat, Recollection, part of his data still existed in cyberspace or the network, which is how he was able to reconfigure himself after Amimon originally defeated him. So he was pretty much sending emails or phone calls to everyone around the world with pictures of the chosen he was looking for. But by opening these emails slash text messages slash phone calls, they were allowing these Digimon into the real world.
He was spamming.
Pretty much.
That's why.
So by doing this, yeah,
a good VPN.
yeah. So I don't remember what they are called. Hold on, can we go? Okay, Koromon. Kura. Yeah, so the little baby versions. Because of that, they were entering the real world. So a good part of the anime or the movie was them trying to capture these little babies, because if they all gather together, they will pretty much reconfigure Diabloman in their world, which did end up happening.
It did. And he not only came back, but he came back even angrier.
And stronger, to the point that Naiva and Amimon could defeat him.
He became an Ultra, right?
Yes. Check. So he became as a different Ultimate. So he has two Ultimate forms. Diabloman and Armageddon. He is a Super Ultimate. That's what he's considered as.
Armageddon. Let's
yeah. See. I have the wiki page up. Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, I have it up now. I had the same idea. So yeah, he's just a different Mega. Is Ultras a whole different categories, or is this just a localization thing that I remember?
Yeah, so he's not really a Super Ultra, however they call it. He's considered, according to here, a Super Ultimate, because he's technically an Ultimate form, but it's a different class of Ultimate because he is stronger than his Ultimate form. And when I say Ultimate, I really mean his Mega form.
Mega, yeah.
In English, yes. So Ultimate is a Mega form for the Japanese version.
Remember, the Japanese evolutions go child, adult, right?
So this is how it goes. It's baby 1, baby 2,
baby
child,
2.
Adult, perfect, and ultimate. Where in English, it's baby, in training, child, adult, champion, ultimate, mega.
Right.
So that's the order.
So yeah, that was the. So how do they defeat Armageddon? Is well, Imperial Dramon, right?
Exactly. So when Amimon failed to defeat him, he was like beat up so bad that he actually went offline, so to speak, like as if which is equivalent of passing out, pretty much. So that's where Imperial comes in, and then after some conversations between the others, because a lot of people were giving up, that's when Amimon finally comes to life and gives his power to Imperial, and he becomes Imperial Platinum Paladin, and that's how he finally defeats Armageddon.
He becomes, yep, he gets a new skin and a nice big sword. That's actually it's the deletion sword, right? I forget the name of the sword, but it's the sword that deletes the code. Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much he just inherited Amimon's blade, essentially.
And that's where we get rid of Diabolomon for good.
Yes.
Now we get the second movie, which takes place way before, and that's probably, if you guys have watched Digimon the movie in the West, you know the movie that I'm talking about, right? I forget the name. What's the name of that movie? The individual part. Let's see.
I'm not sure which one you were referring to.
The Golden Digimentals.
Oh, okay, yes, now I know what you're talking about. Okay, the one with Willis.
Yes, they go to America. They find Willis. We get the introduction of Lopmon and Terriermon before Digimon Adventure 3, right?
Mm-hmm. So, as we mentioned before, it really depends from person to person, but chronically, this technically should be taking place between after the Kaiser arc and between the Redemption arc. Yeah, that's where most makes sense. But it's really uncertain where actually it takes place in terms of the timeline. So with this movie, it is the summertime for the kids. Hikari and Takeru, or TK, they're in America visiting Mimi. That's when they run into the corrupted Kokomon in Willis. So he is essentially affected by the virus from Diabolomon at this point already. He keeps saying go back, but then he goes into a rage and just starts attacking his brother. So Willis had the most wonderful idea of returning where it all started. And then also avoiding the others at the same time.
Right, the famous dubbing scene that in the dub, and I think it's similar in the sub where Davis burst out crying and then he's fine.
Yeah, I think it's in both versions actually. The wordings might be slightly off, but it's in both versions.
No, that was one of the funniest scenes, of course. If we're talking about the movie as a whole, I think in that instance they get or is it they turn to kids, right?
Yes. So once all the others got together and were able to return to the place where Kokomon was trying to lure Willis to, that's when he evolved into Evil Cherubimon, the virus version. There are technically two Cherubimons, by the way. There's the Vice, and then which is the good one, and then you also have the evil virus version. He turned into the evil's virus version first, because of the virus that was affecting him. Because of that, he did essentially reverse time, while also tossing all the other partner Digimon around like volleyballs. So at this point, he did reverse time, and that's where we get into the point where the kids are turning younger because he was reversing time. When let's see, Angelomon and Angemon realized this, that's when they decided to release the golden Digi-Eggs to both Willis and Davis. And this is where Golden Rapidmon and Magnemon come into play. And they're the ones in the end actually defeat Trubumon. They get rid of the virus that was inside of him. And then, as sad as it is, he did end up dying, but turned into a Digi-Egg by the end of the movie.
And we get the famous scene of him dancing to All Star.
Yes.
Completely random, but I liked it. It's a strange movie. Besides that movie, what else do we have? Digimon Adventure 2. Let me see, movies. I think that's it. Revenge of Divormon and then the Digimentals. Yeah, that's it.
So it's up to, technically in this universe we have the Tri movies.
Oh right,
we could always talk about that later, or we could go straight into Tamers, unless you just want to stick with this episode being Adventure.
Let's see. Let's touch about the Tribe movies. The faster we can get rid of them, the happier I am. So,
okay.
Did we talk about the Digimon Adventure movies, technically? Did we have time? There's only one, right? There's two, right? There's the beginning, and then there's the Revenge. I mean, not Revenge, I'm sorry. Our War Games, right?
For the original shorts, yeah, that was it.
Okay. So, technically speaking, after that, the next movie's Try, right?
Yeah, so Try is a series of 6 movies. To sum up, it revolves around, this is a couple years after O2. All the kids are a lot older now. It pretty much feels like it focuses on Ty trying to figure out where he wants to be as an adult, because they're all growing up now. They're all about to graduate, going to college, so he doesn't know what exactly he wants to do with his life. So so it's one of those things where the gate is actually closed between the human world and digital world. So they actually haven't been with their partners for a while already. So, you know, one of those life moves on type of. There is things happening in the human world actually, because there's shit going down in the digital world. So Digimon are getting sick. There's a virus going on that's affecting the digital world, which is turning the Digimon mindless and pretty much going to rampage and attacking everything in sight. So this is actually Yggdrasil's plan to destroy the human world because of this virus. So it is essentially the focal point between homeostasis and Yggdrasil. With the throated of Alpha. Yes, with the throated of Alphamon in the Road Knights.
Oh my god. Yeah, so these people that have been absent for the entire season 1 and season 2 decided to show up finally. Not just that, Yggdrasil is just the most popular Digimon villain nowadays because he's been everywhere now, right?
Yes, he's been in X Evolution. He's been in Sabers.
He's been.
Those
in
are like the two made. Yes. So in reference to the Tri movies, and like I don't even like to talk about Tri just for some reason what they did to the O2 cast.
Yeah, they basically deleted them in the first second scene. First 5 seconds of the episode, you just saw them. We're like, okay, we're just gonna get rid of these people. They don't matter to us right now.
So, out of order to sum up all the movies, when this virus is going on, Davis and his team, minus TK and Kari, was getting intel from one of the agents. I don't remember her name. The female agent. That what was going on in the digital world. So they were actually already in the digital world. They caught whiff of Yggdrasil's plan, which is why they got taken out by Alphamon, who is working for Yggdrasil, which is completely stupid because Alphamon's not usually doesn't like following Yggdrasil's orders.
There's a whole movie about Alphamon not following the orders.
Exactly. He's the unofficial Royal Knight for a reason.
Not to mention, it's canonically Alphamon does not like Yggdrasil. It's like in any media that he's in before Try. So
yeah,
even in Cyber Sleuth, it's kind of strange.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened to O2 cast, and you don't see them again until the last two movies, which is, I believe, Coexistence or Our Future. So they mentioned very briefly in the last one when they got saved. Other than that, you don't see them again. That's it for the O2 cast. So pretty much throughout the movie, the 6 movies, focus on Ty, his struggle with what he wants to do. Now, what I don't like about these movies, they pretty much botched their development. Ty, the way he acted in these movies, feels out of character. Especially when he didn't want to fight the Digimon because it was destroying the buildings and hurting people in their world. When he had no problem doing that in the previous 2 seasons. So there is that. And then they also brought in a new character, Miko, and her Digimon, which is actually the source of the affection. And then we also have, surprise, surprise, our main daddy, Jedi, who is for some reason evil, and then it's debatable if he's really Jedi or not, or one of his clones. Though it was never explained.
Yeah, the Jedi being evil was at that point, at the second movie or the third movie when they did that, I was just like, what's going on anymore? The evil Digimon Emperor popping up, but it's really Jedi, and it's not Jedi because it's young Jedi. What? Right?
See, I had no problem with, like, in season 2, he reversed his from being old to young because it's the digital world.
Yeah.
But, like, for him going from this respectable guy who helped them to this crazy sexual wacko now trying to destroy them, I said, is this really the same person? Especially since he impersonated as the Kaiser, which was the only reason why the others started looking for their friends.
Yeah, they forget to even exist before.
See, that's what I don't like about these movies.
They're like, is Davis and the others not here? Oh, okay. I guess they're just busy, right? For 3 months.
Which is stupid because some of them share the same apartment building. And they were their close friends, so there was no reason. They even went to the same school, most of them, so there was no reason for them not to even notice. So everything about the movie is just like, it was
especially Kari and DK,
all the movies. Yeah.
You know?
Those were their best friends. It's like, well,
you would think they would hang out with them more than just, I don't know. Considering they're still having their partner, so they're still protecting the digital world, right?
So the Digimon were not in the human world because towards the conclusion, from what they say of O2, the gates closed. So they were apart from the Digimon. but that does not excuse the total 360 of their character development in Try. Because in Try, they try to put the focus on the main original crew, not really on the newer kids from O2. And that's where all the issues came in. So other than that, Mika was hella annoying. Her constant whining about everything.
I really did not like Mekumon either.
I thought she was like, at one point, she would have been a very nice character. Well, like a new character to bring, diversity into the movies. Another member to the team. But like throughout the whole thing, she just kept complaining, especially what was happening with her Digimon and her self-doubt about everything. It's like they just kept focusing on that the entire movies. So yeah.
And not just that, there's a bunch of different things. They added Meiku and Mai and Meikumon, which didn't need to be added. Dark Jedi, of course. King Drazel corrupts Dark Jedi. King Drazel wants nothing to do with humans and Digimon for some reason, right? Sorry, my dog was trying to get my attention. He's still trying to get my attention. Hey.
Yeah, so essentially, just for warning, if you want to go through Try, make sure you have something to hit your head with. Because you will be grinding your team through all 6 movies.
Apparently, them being without their Digimon and growing up means that all the character development goes away, right?
Yeah, essentially. It's like whatever happened in O2 didn't exist, essentially.
Even the O2 kids didn't exist at one point.
Yeah, that was so annoying. So yeah, I don't mind if there's movies and where they focus on the original cast. That I don't mind, but not to the point of making everything, all the character development, all the friendships they made, their close bonds with their siblings and their friends, completely obsolete, and then not even questioning what's happening to them, where they are, why are they not searching for them. You would think that would be on their minds. No, they go straight to Mikamon. Or no, it goes straight to they don't want to hurt the Digimon, despite the fact they're pretty much destroying the city. That was the big argument between Matt and Ty. It feels out of character because they're also focusing on, they were trying to throw in there the whole love triangle nonsense that a lot of fans were trying to do. So it felt like this Try was they were trying to do this big fan service for the community, which didn't really work so well.
Yeah, we already accepted the fact that you sent Sora with Matt for some reason. Why are you trying to bring it back? Just to take it away from us again. But that was Try.
Yes. So if you want to avoid Try, I pretty much recommend you do that because it has nothing to do with Last Evolution. Pretty much, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, pretty
much. It doesn't exist. Okay?
Try doesn't have any canonical connection unless you want to count Cross Wars, because in Cross Wars they reference that Yggdrasil tries to destroy the world, which is insane because Cross Wars is before Try, but whatever, right?
Yeah.
But besides that, I don't think they even mentioned it in Lost Evolution, and I don't think they'll even touch it at all in
Digimon
Adventure
actually.
2, the movie.
Hopefully not. Because that was probably the most hated movies ever.
The animation is also kind of rough. I guess some people don't like the new style. I personally don't like it.
Well, to be honest, I didn't like the way they made the characters, anime, style-wise. It looked different from how they originally were. but I really didn't mind the animation. The animation looked really nice compared to the first 2 seasons. So like I kind of just the style kind of just grew on me, just because the animation was really nice and smooth. But I hated the Try movies. Let's just put it that way. There are better fan fictions than these crappy movies.
And then we get to Digimon Lost Evolution.
The one movie we really haven't seen.
We have not seen, so I don't think we can really discuss much of it, except the animation is way better. It's true to the art of the original Digimon seasons. Originally had all the original staff working on it, but the director quit. For some reason, he didn't like something that they did.
Creative difference, most likely.
Yeah. It's I wish I would know what was the creative difference, you know? But
they never say that.
They will never say that. But apparently this one is canonical with all the Digimon seasons of the original adventure, right? And this is where they actually said that it's even canonical to the final episode of 02, which is strange. But okay. Basically, the movie, from what I know, is kind of like you're getting too old for fairies, Timmy, right? Kind of situation. If you know Fairly Odd Parents. The whole you're too old to have Digimon, right? You're getting too old.
So what they're trying to get, unlike the other the other seasons, once you reach a certain, like, there's a reason when they say children get partnered to Digimon. It's that innocence that allows them to bond with a Digimon partner. As they get older, they lose that innocence, and then at that point, they'll lose their connection with their Digimon as they go transcend into adulthood. So that's the whole thing with that one. So that's why it focused mainly on Tai and Yamato, and an emotional bond breaking every time they evolve. So from my understanding of the movie, from what little I've seen of it, there is this character who had lost her partner due to as she got older and wanted her partner back. So she had, from what I understand, she had this Digimon, I guess, who had some remnants of her partner, and pretty much trapped every chosen child's mind, or those who were originally chosen children had their mind trapped and stuff like that.
So not just that, when you got too old, it's not like your Digimon says, okay, I guess I leave. No, they die. No. They completely cease to exist, which is insane, but okay.
Yeah, in a way, they kind of disappear because of that bond break. So pretty much think, if you seen Digimon survive, when one of the characters die, the Digimon disappears.
Yeah, that is true. That does happen in Digimon Survive, which is still one of the darkest games. It's more of a visual novel than a game, but continue.
I love visual novels, though. It's one of my favorite. I haven't even finished it yet. It's causing me too much pain.
I had to stop playing it for a little bit. I need to restart. I spent 1 3-hour session and then I never touched it again. But I like it. I like the strategy, and of course the story's pretty good too.
Well, here's the thing. The original cast, which includes Matt, Yamato, Sora, Mimi, Joe, and Izzy. They were all in danger of losing their partner. Sora's Digivice was already cracked, which already showed that her bond was breaking with Digimon because she was getting older. And Yamato and Taichi, they had a countdown on theirs, which was showing that their time that their bond will be severed with the partners will be soon. But because of the events that was happening with this one tamer and her trying to trap everyone's mind so they could stay with their partners forever, it was having one of those ricochet effects on everything, which ultimately revolved in Yamato and Taichi finally evolving into a new form, which would stop this Digimon, which is what they call the Bond evolution.
One quick thing. I hate how in the new Digimon movies they're not giving Digimon new names. This is called Agumon, Bond of Bravery. The other Digimon that you were talking about, all 3 stages of that Digimon is called Eosmon. I don't know why, they just don't want to make new names. But yeah, this is a Bond evolution, which is the strongest of Greymons and Garurumons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks really cool. I like how it looks.
Yeah, I like the design of them. And pretty much towards the end of this movie, from my understanding, both Gabumon and Agumon did disappear. So it is. I don't know if this is canon based or not. It could be, but it's believed that, which might be explained in 02, in the movie, on how the Digimon end up returning, because in the epilogue, the partner Digimon are back with their partners already older, and it's implied that it's because of their children.
I see. So that's how it ties back to that ending, huh?
Yeah.
Because they all do have children in that epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we still haven't watched the complete movie. I know that they try to go with the I guess the sympathetic villain, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see it. I'm probably gonna see it. I just have to find it and have the time to see it with all work and all that stuff.
It's on 9. It's on 9 anime.
Oh, 9 anime. Okay, I'll try to check it out. But that's Lost Evolution, and of course we know that the O2 movie is coming out. I'm not sure when it's gonna come out or what's the timeline on it.
They've put trailers out already.
I've seen the trailers. The timeline is what I'm wondering about. Let me see if I can find it. For some reason, I can't find it. Oh, there's Digimon movies. The beginning. So this one's set in 2012. Okay.
Yeah, so a couple years after, I think.
When's Last Evolution set in? What year? Oh, it says it's follow-up, but Digimon Adventure 2 the beginning. Okay. I like how the plot summary is Davis and Beamon were making ramen. That's how the movie starts. Okay, because they have a famous ramen stand, I guess.
So you remember in the epilogue how Davis said he wanted to be a noodle chef?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they do
That was
have the
his dream?
ramen cart. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was the
He's
reference.
probably the only person that can't lose Beamon, because I mean he's forever gonna be a child on the inside. Interesting. Yeah, the movie's gonna come out on October 27th, so it means if we're lucky, we get a dub, maybe a month after. I hope we're lucky. It took a while for Try, and they did it in episodes, which was horrible. But
Sam, this is what happens when you put two nerds together in one room, okay?
yeah, this podcast is only made because this is the only free space we have to talk about Digimon.
Without people getting annoyed at us. I am pretty sure my boyfriend is annoyed at me talking about Digimon.
It's easy to just talk about Digimon. It's in the conversation. But of course, that's the Digimon Adventure and its movies. Yeah, we're two nerds with the same names. That's coincidental. It's coincidence.
It is. It's very coincidental.
But we go with Tamers. Should we touch Tamers today, or should we just do another episode where we only touch Tamers?
Why don't we just leave that for the next episode?
Okay, yeah.
Because it's a lot of talk about for Tamers.
Tamers is a very heavy topic. It's like heavy show.
It is.
It's one of, people say it's the best Digimon show ever made. Of course, it's up to interpretation. I like it. It's made by the guy who made he made the animes for a horror anime. Let me see.
Yeah, so expect more episodes. So the next episode will be on my Twitch channel.
It will be over on Twitch. We'll go over on Twitch. Of course, it'll be on Digigirl's channel. Said a day or a couple of days later.
I will check what I have on my schedule, and then I'll let you know.
Let's see. No, it's not it's the writer, isn't it?
Which writer are you looking for? Yeah, so I actually love Tamers.
Yeah.
Just because it's different from the first two seasons. Then again, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but like my three favorites is O2, obviously. Savers, which I'm gonna enjoy talking about, and also Frontier, which I'm also gonna enjoy talking about.
Frontier and Tamers are more darker Digimons. Definitely in Tamers they wanted to go for like we're gonna
a darker tone.
Yeah, darker tone. There's no friendship. It's everybody's friends. No, people are gonna die. Like, yeah, people are gonna suffer some mental trauma in this show. So, yeah, Tamers is gonna be a fun episode. It's one of my favorites. Of course, it's a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah, as I said, it's up to interpretation because some people like it, some people don't because of the whole merging with the Digimon thing. But
the bio merge did take me out a little bit, which is the reason why I don't like Frontiers as much, which is another debate we're gonna have. But yeah, that'll be in the next episode.
Yes.
No. I guess we're signing out now.
Yes. Thank you, everyone who joined us today.
Yeah, thank you for coming, everyone on YouTube. I know it's a different platform than the Twitch. If you're coming for Digigirls or from the Digigirls Discord server, thank you, everyone who came and just like wanted to hang out, and all the people that are gonna be listening to this afterwards. I know we were all over the place sometimes. I know I was originally all over the place.
That's the point of the podcast, so we can just talk about Digimon.
But I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.